Hello and welcome to Pest Perspectives episode 17. Now, this is a podcast first for Pest Perspectives. We have a returning guest, Adam Holt, B.C.E. How you doing, mate?
Oh my God, I'm exhausted, but thank you for having me again. I'm super excited to be here. Like I said, I just came out of a mosquito control webinar, so I was having brain farts. We were talking about a lot about putting together how to create, educate, and market a mosquito control program. And so part of that was going over Aedes and Culex because they're the primary two species that N2Care targets, if you're familiar with N2Care. And so, but I was like having a brain fart about which one was the container breeding mosquito. And then I was able to confirm that Aedes are the container breeding mosquitoes. And so, anywho, sorry, let's move on.
No, it's all good. It's good to have you back on. It is. The people who didn't listen to the last one, do you want to tell people who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
That's a long speech, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, correct. I agree with you. I think it is a long speech. So, sorry about that. I just need to take a bite of a snack.
You're all right.
So, for anybody who has not seen me before, again, my name is Adam Holt. I'm a board certified entomologist, been in the pest control industry about 25 years now, 26 years. I would definitely say that I've been around the block when it comes to pest control. I started my career in Florida. I left Florida in 2017. I've since lived in Colorado, Michigan, Northern California, back over to Philadelphia, then down to San Diego, and now to Hawaii. So if you're kind of thinking about geographically, Florida, Colorado, Michigan, Sacramento, Philadelphia, San Diego, Hawaii.
You've traveled.
I've traveled quite a bit. I live the farthest now away from my family, which is, not always the best thing, but it's also, I live in Hawaii, dude. I mean, like, who can say they live in Hawaii?
That's true.
I live in paradise. And so, I was actually talking to a buddy the other day and I was like, hey, do you think I should consider moving back to the mainland just because of my business and having that face-to-face interaction? And, his response was, dude, if I could do what you're doing and stay remote and live in paradise, I would 100% stay in paradise. So it was some really good perspective. Haha, no pun intended on,
exactly.
The direction where I should go.
A good perspective. Now, today we're talking about a specific topic. I've never done this before for the show, an actual nailed down. So we're going to be talking about a conversation that continually keeps coming up within the pest control industry and on LinkedIn and podcasts and everywhere. So it's AI in pest control and how AI will help obviously not take the job away from the technician, but there's many ways that AI could help technicians do a better job in the field. It's quite an interesting topic though, isn't it, Adam? It is.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. I mean, it's becoming bigger and bigger. I don't know if you're familiar with Chaz. Do you know who Chaz is?
Chaz. Is he?
He's from Nices. Chaz Estrada.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they just published their music video today, which is just, if you haven't gone to listen to it, it's literally hysterical.
I just seen it. I didn't listen to it. I've just seen it on the phone, but I need to go back and watch it. But was that AI then?
Yeah, so let's just for a second. It's a great example to show people. So let me just show people real quick because this is just such a good thing to kind of show you literally what it's capable of, right? I'm not going to play the volume just because I think that's a little much in the podcast.
Copyright, maybe, you never know.
Well, not even that, but I'm just trying to show people here. So he's literally sitting here and it's a country music video on Bugs.
Wow.
Right, but you'll
see him probably watch that.
Yeah, but you'll see him here in a second. He's singing. And he's singing this whole thing, and the AI not only made the video of him doing this and singing, but it's also it made the whole, the actual song. It did all that stuff. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that he wasn't actually singing? They put his voice through it. Oh, wow.
That's not even his voice.
That's not even his voice. Oh, I've really got to listen now. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for tuning in on LinkedIn.
Hey, Jenny. Aloha. So you know what I mean? It's insane to think that this is just his face.
That is very interesting. Did you know what he used? Which AI he used?
That's a great question. I think I could actually ask him which one he did. I mean, it'd be very easy to find out.
Yeah.
But I don't know which one he did though.
But they reckon within, because I listen to people like Gary V. I watch Gary V. And he reckons within the next 5 years, all these big internet stars, there'll be loads of fake videos where AI's changed the words around, and you won't be able to tell who's actually made the real video. It'll be that frightening, scary. It will.
I mean, it is. Well, what it also makes me wonder is, what is that going to mean for like the movie industry, right? Like, what does that mean for, you know, like all that kind of stuff? I mean, and granted, I know we're here to talk about pest control, but
I know.
Let's get back to pest control. Sorry,
my
mind goes everywhere. But as far as AI, you know, for me and pest control, I was a little like, you know, unsure if I supported AI in the beginning, but I also realized that we don't have a choice. AI is the wave of the future. You know, I think my biggest thing that I've learned recently is I've heard a lot of people say that supposedly AI can have negative impacts on the environment from an energy perspective. I don't know if that's true. It's just what I've heard.
It's the data centers, the power consumption it requires. Yeah, it's not very. It's not green friendly. It's not.
Well, that's where I get concerned is if it's not green friendly, where's the balance going to be with that, right? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I've been told it's not very green friendly. It takes a lot of computing power and electric, etc., to power it. So I don't know any more than that. I don't.
Yeah. But to get back to pest control, as far as, you know, where I see it really being, I would say probably super effective in pest control is more from probably like an office standpoint, right? Or like, you know, a managerial standpoint. I could see people using AI for developing trainings and developing, you know, social media campaigns and all the things they're using it for now. And so, but here's the thing that everybody has to remember about AI. AI is literally cross-reference searching all the information on the internet, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So the reality is all that information was put on the internet by you and me and other people.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a good chance that, what do I always say? Garbage in, garbage out. There's a good chance that a lot of that information might not be factful information. So for anybody listening, for anybody that uses AI or anybody that uses ChatGPT or any of these things, you want to make sure that whatever you take out of it, you're fact checking.
Yeah, because I've seen. I'm not saying which companies, but I have seen companies in the UK clearly use, over a year ago, it's not happened since, used the top bugs in the UK. Termites was in it. So that's obviously grabbed it from America and they've not fact checked it, obviously. So we don't have termites here. It's not a problem. It's not.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not as pest here.
The crazy thing is we don't need AI for people to make mistakes.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like a good example. I don't know if you remember, and this might be before your time, Sean. No, actually, you just turned 40, so we're close to age.
Yeah.
Do you remember the magazine called Time, a magazine? I think it's still around.
I've heard of Time, yes. It is still around.
It's a big one in the mainland. So back in the day, and this was like late 80s or early 90s, they went to post a thing on mosquitoes, right? Because there was a big deal with mosquitoes.
Okay.
And literally, this was on the cover of the magazine. Guess what creature they put as the cover of the magazine that they said was a mosquito?
Wasp? I don't know.
A crane fly.
Oh, okay.
A crane fly, because a lot of people call crane flies like the mosquito hawks, right? Because they're literally the size of a quarter. They're huge. And they do look similar to a mosquito, but they're not a mosquito. They're a crane fly. They're in the order Diptera. I mean, they're definitely not mosquitoes at all. So it was just crazy to think that Time magazine put the wrong insect on the cover of their magazine.
I still do. Even normal newspapers in the UK like spread fear and like with a lot of agent, because they all panic about Asian hornets at me. Like last year, they were panicking. And because the Asian hornet, correct me if I'm wrong, is not as big as the European hornet, they stuck on the European hornet instead because it's bigger.
It's fair. It's definitely possible. I don't know.
Or they made a mistake and didn't know which was which. They did.
I will tell you this. I'm not a big hymenopterist. And that's what all of your ants and wasps fall into. Even people have come to me and said, hey, will you do a training on ants? And I'm like, I will happily do a training on ants, but I am not the expert of ants. So I will basically go and...
At least you're clear and transparent when you say, I'm not the total expert. But that's good. That is.
I mean, what else are you supposed to be? I don't want to set somebody up for failure, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever. By the way, how did you make your background black on your screen?
Ah, my wife made it on Canvas.
I wonder if I.
It's actually it's not built in. It's actually she made this, by the way, for me. So it's kind of a virtual green screen, but it's black with Pest perspectives on. I didn't make it. Anything that looks good that I've made is not me.
I'm gonna upload my background now. Let's see if it'll let me do it. I'm trying to see if it'll let me do it here. Ooh, let's see here.
You should.
There we go. Yeah, save background. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Because I was like, wait a minute, why do I not have my background here?
It should let you. So last time we done this, we were in Riverside, and you were on a mobile phone. I remember. We were.
Right, yeah, but it's like saying, hold on.
There we go.
Cool. Yay. All right, there's my Namedatbug. Yeah.
There we go. So one thing we did want to talk about is because we had a conversation about apps that the bug identification. So I showed you an app, and you said Google Lens is probably just as good. So I cancelled my subscription. Thanks for that. I did. I was paying, but I'll tell you what. It claims it's got all these experts. I can't. What are you? An Edmund. I'm terrible at saying.
Entomologist.
There.
Okay.
But false positives. So there's loads of bugs where you'd take the photo 3 different times, and 3 different insects will come up. And I thought, it's not really, is it? It's not really.
Yeah, so
it can't be.
What you're talking about, Sean, I love the idea of this, right? So Google Photos is something I've used a lot of, only because Google is going to cross-reference search the entire internet, right? That's what Google does. So if you use Google Photos and you basically take a picture of an insect and then you click that little button, that's all it's doing is cross-reference searching that picture across the internet.
Yeah.
Right. And so your fingers are crossed that like 99% of those photos were identified correctly. But the reality is there's a good chance there's not. And so to Sean's point, any type of AI technology that's going to do image software recognition or image recognition, let me say that right. Any AI software that's going to do image recognition, just like any other AI software, you have to train the AI software, right? Yeah. And so, I've talked to other people about this, and we've had a multitude of conversations where if I were to want to create my own software, right, that did what you're talking about, and I would basically be like an insect photo thing, you would have to upload thousands upon thousands of photos of a certain species for it to be done right, because it's not just about a dorsal picture or a ventral picture. It's about capturing all the different angles, the lateral, the posterior, the anterior, all the different angles you want to catch of the insect. And so, to your point, there's some relatively decent ones out there, but at the end of the day, it really depends on also how finite you're wanting to get with your identification, right? If you're just wanting like a common name, you can probably snag it from the internet. But if you're wanting a more specific, like scientific name with the genus and the species, that's going to be more challenging.
Well, so far, compared to that app that I cancelled, Google Lens has been better. Because I've been playing with it. I've been sending it through 3 times. Just see, because what I had on that app was sometimes you send the same photo and try it again, or a different angle, and it tells you something completely different. But Google Lens so far has been coming back with the same result. So it's better than what I had. But cheers for that.
Cool. You're welcome.
These apps need to get hold of you. They do. It's a bit weird though, because they claim that it's expert backed and it's thousands of people around the world, but it can't be. It's making that many mistakes.
Yeah, and I would say, I know there's a lot of entomologists out there, and so again, it's about training the software.
Yeah, it is.
And so that would just take like thousands and thousands of man hours, all that kind of stuff. So it would just be work hours. It would just take thousands and thousands of hours per insect to get all that trained.
It would. It's
but I think another AI thing that I'm sorry, my mind's just twirling.
No, that's
here,
good.
So,
that's good.
As far as even what I was just talking about in my webinar, if you were wanting to put together like a marketing campaign for something, that's a great opportunity to use, again, AI or like ChatGPT just to get that foundation, right? But once you have that foundation, you don't want to take whatever you get out of ChatGPT and just go use it. You want to make sure, again, you fact check it. And it's also a good idea to have somebody like me, like a B.C.E, a person of a technical expertise, fact check it for you, right? Because no offense, and this isn't any offense to you, Sean, or anybody else who owns the
I'm not as qualified as you. I'm not.
You know, most people are not going to have that technical background to be able to look at it and say real quickly and spend less time, right? Because time is valuable. Time is priceless. Time is money. And so if you can take somebody like me and pay me a fraction of amount of money to look over it for you real quick versus you spending 3 or 4 hours looking over it, then I can look at it real quick and I can say yay or nay, or here's some enhancements, here's some improvements, make the improvements, send it over to you and say, here you go, you're good to go. Go with it, fly with it.
Yeah, because obviously, like me, the average pest controller usually only does so many. I don't do that many insects. I mean, ants, not ants, bed bugs, fleas, carpet beetle. I don't do many.
So I will tell you, you bring up something I'm infatuated with. I'm actually infatuated with ectoparasites, but fleas I'm super infatuated with. I don't know why. So I actually I kind of created a dichotomous key to the flea, to like the most common flea species.
Oh, okay.
It's actually on my website. It's a little YouTube video I made. And so
I will have a look.
Yeah, it was just me doing it for fun. But I think my whole point to that is just like that kind of stuff infatuated me. So I kind of dove in a little more and, focused on that. But again, we're getting off topic here, Sean. We're here to talk about AI, right? I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
we can talk about whatever we want.
It's all connected. It is. I've also heard people using now this one I think is quite clever. Obviously, with digital reporting now, which I use as well. It's not me, but I have heard of people that do to make their treatment reports sound better and more worded. So say.
Wait a minute, are you talking about your service report that you give to the customer?
Or a commercial client to make it look written better, if you get what I mean, worded much better, having AI help you. So if you tell it what the report is and they have it worded better, say rather than saying block that hole, it will tell you why, etc.
So I think a part of it, and this is not me being offensive to anybody. If anybody's listening, I apologize in advance, but I'm very big on grammar and syntax and all that stuff. And so quite often what you get into is, I've witnessed this so many times, is that you'll have that service summary, right, written by a technician at the top of the service report, and it'll literally just be a big run-on sentence. I was here today and treated your place and did 17 bait stations and did this and didn't find anything and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I'm reading it and my mind is about to explode because of my grammar, my grammar thing going on. So I think to your point, using ChatGPT is not a bad thing, but it's also, and this is what I see as for future generations coming and current, like younger generations, I see there being classes on how to properly use AI.
I'm still learning. I'm having a look. I mean, obviously, Sean Mooney, well done, mate. You see my post that was written by AI. I was playing with AI. I've got to get the nuances right. It's not easy. It's not.
No, it's definitely not. And learning how to actually learning how to, put into GPT what you want to get out of it, right? That's going to be very important. So I'm learning that as well. Everybody's going to be learning that, but it's very interesting. You kind of evolve and you learn really quickly based on, if you like what you get out of it, you're like, wait a minute, what did I do? I just need to go back and remember what I did so I can recreate that whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
because I imagine once you get used to it and you've got the system to know what you want and make it sound that way, you can make it right like it's you. You can. But it's getting there 100%. As well.
And one thing I love, so like I'm creating a lot of CEU courses, continuing education units right now for clients. Yeah. And like a lot of the different states require like an agenda, right? So when I go to apply for a CEU course, I have to submit a title slide, and then I submit an agenda. I ain't got time to write out that agenda. So normally I just go to ChatGPT and I'm like, write me a 7-section agenda for this topic.
Yeah.
And make sure to include biology. And I say make sure to include all these things, and then pops it out for me.
And welcome, Hugh Radcliffe. You have to ensure it sounds human, correct?
Oh yeah,
We use ChatGPT for reports sometimes. But tell you what I do as well. After the podcast is uploaded to Spotify and once the transcripts are uploaded, I go back in and what's it called? I ask AI what the best version for podcast platforms would be for the descriptions. And I also ask, out of this podcast, what do you think would be the best learning points? To be fair with that, it's quite good.
So wait a minute. So what software are you uploading the podcast to?
When it's on podcast platforms, it gets uploaded to Spotify for podcasters.
No. What I mean is, so like, have you heard of Clipto?
No.
You should write it down. Clip, like CLIP and then TO. Clipto. And so essentially, it's a software. It's essentially like a video software where you could upload the podcast.
Yeah.
It's going to transcribe the entire thing for you. And then if you want a detailed summary, if you go to my website, all my detailed summaries for my podcast are from Clipto.
I bet it's not free though, isn't it?
It's not free. No, unfortunately, Sean.
I've been scouring the net.
Sean, and nothing, you know, I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell everybody. Nothing's free. It shouldn't be free because somebody put time into it, right?
That's true. That is. But
we all like free.
That's how I do it. It is to get the learning points. It generally does come up with correct answers from what I check the podcast and what's been said. But yeah, it kind of works. It does.
Yeah, and Hugh's definitely right. You want to add the human touch to it for sure. And kind of getting back to your service report, I think with service reports, honestly, one of the things I like about pest control softwares is that they've got all of the back-end database parameter tables that you can basically create what you want the technician to input, and then you can control what the technician inputs, right? And so I love that for that reason, because like honestly, for me, if I owned a company, I would not allow technicians to leave a summary just for that reason, because of the fact that their grammar is typically horribly bad. They don't take the time to even check it and make it look nice. I mean, or if I was going to let technicians leave a summary, I would have a pre-scripted summary that I give them when they onboard. That would be copied into the notes section in their phone, and then they could just copy and paste that into the service report.
See, I think that's the people that I've spoke to. That's the they've got like not a blank copy and paste because every site's different, but it's more like what I use when I find this, and that, and when I find a hole in the wall, this is what I write to make it look more professional. But
right. But when I say the copy and paste, that's just a template, right? The copy and paste might say, thank you, Pest Perspectives, for allowing me to visit your company today. It was a pleasure to service you and your team members. Today we did blank, 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 and blank, blank, blank. Obviously it's a template. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's more what I mean is at least the template's there, and at least as a company owner, I feel comfortable with what's going out there, because everything that leaves anything that's part of your company is a representation of your brand and your company.
It is. It's true. It is. So it is. So obviously, I presume with Pest Sense that must use, I presume, or not. When they measures the bait, that is AI.
Oh yeah.
Is that AI?
The bait is actually not AI. Oh. The bait is actually it's weighing the bait.
Oh, just weighing it and reporting back.
Yeah. So there's basically a lot of technology built into when the rod actually clicks in. That's going to basically calibrate it to like 0 whenever you have the bait on there. And then as the bait's being consumed, it's actually weighing the percentage. It's in real time. It's sending back information saying this percentage of bait's been consumed. This percentage of bait's been consumed.
I'll tell you what, that's a useful feature.
Very useful feature. I was actually going to talk to you about it because I noticed you're getting into the whole electronic rodent monitoring, and I'm like, you should consider trying out the whole Pest Sense thing.
Well, yeah, it's because obviously I've got alert. I don't know if you caught any of the podcasts with Andrew last week, and he was asking
I unfortunately did not.
No, you're a busy man. It's fine. He was talking about how often do you go back once they've been activated. I said, well, I went back to one box over a weekend that was hit 19 times. I said, and only half the bait was consumed. And I was like, I thought it was all gone. So I said, I'm going to wait So it's more's gone next time.
Wait a minute, you're using Bayer's, right?
What's that?
Which brand are you using? Is it Bayer or who is it? Syngenta.
So Syngenta's secure
Yeah.
choice.
So is it not real time?
It's real time, but it can't tell you how much bait's gone, obviously.
Oh, so if you were using PestSense, it would be more information.
Yeah, it would be. It would be, but I do like it. To be fair, it's the first time someone's let me use it as a trial. But
so what are you getting? Is Syngenta just basically is it just motion sensor?
I think
So
it's
essentially,
fine.
when you're getting data, right, or you're getting notifications I'm assuming you're getting notification that there's an event,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
basically, it's letting you know that maybe a rodent entered the box,
yeah, yeah.
right?
I
And
think it's
so
motion and vibration. I can't remember which one it is.
and it could be. So with
Yeah.
PestSense, the AI that's built into PestSense would be something like there's essentially, and actually no, this is, I'm trying to think, is there AI? Yes, so there is AI built into PestSense. The AI that's built into PestSense
Okay.
that part of the AI that's built into PestSense, there's a lot of different functionalities of PestSense. One of them is basically obviously the bait weighing component. That's not AI. There's also
Okay.
the ability that it'll let you know whether it's entered the left or the right side of the station.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
extremely valuable information, right? Because
Yeah.
then you know where it's coming from. We've
Yeah.
actually just added some technology to the software where, as events happen, you can go into the software and you can actually see where the rodent has been running.
Really? Have you got a camera
Yeah.
then?
No camera.
Oh,
It's basically it's
oh, what
basically
in the box?
yeah. So the data
Oh,
that it's got, the data that each box is gathering is basically able to say, okay, this data point equals this data point over here equals this data point over here. So it's basically pulling all that data together and saying that essentially this specific rodent that's causing this data point is going to all these different boxes.
okay.
So that's not going to be more AI than that's going to be more obviously data algorithm versus AI algorithm. But where the AI is built in is that they've actually trained the software to be able to recognize whether it's a rodent or a mouse.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really interesting. That is. Yeah.
And so that's going to be based on training, obviously, the algorithm to be able
Yeah.
to notice whether, okay, is it if it's a heavier thing, it's going to be a rat. If it's a, less heavier thing, it's going to be a mouse.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
yes, I would say there's definitely AI built into that. I don't know exactly what AI is built into it, and I
Oh,
could
you
be
don't
wrong,
need to know.
but
It probably be their own or proprietary, or I don't know. But
I wouldn't even venture to know some of that. But it's very interesting, right?
It is very interesting. Most definitely, it is. So,
and supposedly, just so you're aware, supposedly
fine.
you know what Bell is, right? Like Bell sensing.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bell is supposedly, I think they're also building they're also building a electronic rodent monitoring that will also weigh the bait. Supposedly, I don't know.
Okay. Because theirs is more. You've got to be on site, haven't you, for the data to come in?
Currently with Bell, you have to be on site. It's Bluetooth technology.
Yeah.
And so essentially, you hook it up to the Wi-Fi, and then when you're on site, you open up the app, and it goes and it pulls in all your data. And so that's the nice thing with that. However, they supposedly are adding, I think, lure-based technology to their upcoming new release as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so Bell Sensing is, if you haven't heard of Bell, I mean, back when I was with Advanced IPM, before I left them, what just popped up?
Adam, well, thanks for tuning in. Adam said he used Bell before it kept playing up. He's used a few different ones. He used to work for Ecolab. He did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
and a few other companies like that. He did. He's a nice guy. He is.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I've actually used a ton of them, and thanks for chiming in there. Yeah. So like I said, back again when I was with Advanced IPM, before I left them, I had deployed 5,000 Bell sensing devices.
I heard that. I remember that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and so it was just an insane amount.
Did they give you a bed on the site?
I mean, they should have given me a free trip to freaking anywhere I wanted for that kind of stuff. But no, they did not. But anyway, it was cool to be a part of that journey and be a part of all that. I mean, there were a lot of things that went into that, and they're actually a great company. I mean, When I was with Advanced IPM, we had some very challenging issues, and Bell stepped up to the plate and fixed them, which was really cool.
That's nice. That is. That's really
Yeah.
nice. That is. I've got a couple of friends that are trying Bell Sense at the minute. I have. I need to ask them how it's going. Actually, I haven't since
Bell sensing is great, but
yeah.
here's another thing to talk about. Like the difference between Bell and like Pest Sense is that with Bell, once the battery dies, you have to replace the entire device.
Oh, okay. Oh,
right. So I don't know how it is with Syngenta, but with Pest Sense, you can actually interchange our batteries. You can open up the thing and put in your new AA batteries.
I think the batteries last up to like 5 to 7 years.
Usually it's 2 to 4 years.
I don't know. I was told like 5 years, but who knows?
I would be very surprised. Now, does Syngenta have the ability to replace the batteries physically?
They'd have to send you them. You can put them in, obviously.
No, I'm saying, so it's not just regular AA batteries, or what is the battery thing?
No, it's not just. It's just the battery. It's been, and you put it in. There's no AA batteries.
Okay, I'll have to look it up. I'm not quite sure.
I'll send you a message. I'll send you a message and show. I've got a picture of the box open, and you can see the sensor.
Right. Yeah, I'm more concerned about the batteries. So, like,
it works.
Can you replace the batteries?
It works on low power, very low power. It does.
Gotcha.
I don't know how that works, but I was just told that they last low X amount of years. They do.
So here's the question: when you got them, did you have to install batteries into them?
Nope.
Yeah, so I'm gonna guess if they're like anybody else, more than likely the battery is inside the actual component, and
maybe that's it.
You don't have the ability to replace the battery like you would on a flashlight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of it. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm new to all this. I'm new.
Yeah, so like I said, with us, with Pest Sense, with us, you can literally open up a little thing and you can put in the new batteries.
Okay.
Which is nice because then you're not having to. Let's see here. They don't all have traps either. It's usually T-Rex style traps.
Yeah, it's all about the Bell the Bell senses is.
So Bell sensing, at least last time I had checked, had 3 different types. They had the IQ trays, which is basically goes into the Bell the Evo rodent base station. They've got the 24/7 trapper. That's your glorified tin cat, but it's the plastic version. And then there's the T-Rex trap.
Okay. So you know when
that T-Rex trap, Sean, don't play around with that sucker. She'll get you. She'll bite you.
That's nothing, mate. In the UK, we use something called the black cat. That will break your finger.
The T-Rex trap, I think, would as well. Yeah, they're insane, like the power they do. But I mean, it makes sense, right? They're supposed to be able to.
But to be fair, the black cat, you'd need a much larger box to get one in them. They're massive. You need a much faster box. You would. But they're a favourite over here with pest controllers, especially in people's loft spaces and places that are safe, obviously. But they are quite big in comparison. So you wouldn't fit an average one of them in any of your boxes unless you bought a big one. You wouldn't.
Oh my gosh! So did you and Andy talk about AI or any type of electronic rodent monitoring last week?
Oh, we did talk about it. Yeah, he was talking about Pest Sense. I don't know if it's available in the UK, but he's been trialing it. He was like literally under snow, and it was still working.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, because I said I've seen the photo, and he says, "Yeah, it's still working perfectly fine." It was. I like Andrew. He's very analytical. Because he was asking me and he was saying, "So what would you do if you had loads of sites and how many activations you've got?" I said, "I'll be honest. I'm just trying this. I'm still new." And he was telling me how you got to think about it. If you get multiple sites, you've got to work out how many activations to go out because the bait might be there. You can't go out every single time. And he thinks about it from an analytical perspective, which is, I suppose, you need to do, don't you?
Well,
getting used to the product.
I think the thing I like about Pest Sense and the bait weighing perspective is that you know if the bait's been consumed or not, right?
Yeah.
So if there's an event and something just goes in the station and comes out, that's not valuable data.
Yeah.
But then you don't have to run out there, like you said, 19 times.
That's true. I didn't run out 19 times, by the way. I just meant that the bait point had been hit 19 times in one weekend.
So did you go out there whenever you got a hit, or what'd you do?
Well, that weekend, obviously it was bank holiday weekend, and we popped in on Tuesday. So bank holiday Monday, you don't work, but well, we don't anyway. And
was there any bait gone?
half of it. So
Half of it.
there's 2 blocks in it, and it was just half of the 2.
So one of the blocks was gone, or half of one block was gone?
Half of one of each was gone, actually, but it was. And that was it. But I do like to go more regular because I'm doing a trial and I'm supposed to give an honest opinion. I am, obviously. 4 months.
So I don't know if you know. I don't know if Andrew told you what he does, but Andrew supposedly he puts the devices he's trialing next to the devices he usually has, and then he basically does that cross comparative.
I actually said he's got a new site set up where he's got a multitude of different devices. He said he's got one where
I'll have to go listen to it. I haven't talked to him in a while. I need to catch up with him anyway.
Yeah, get back on the podcast. He'll let you on. I haven't been on yet, and I've not been on yet.
You haven't been on his podcast yet?
Not yet. I'm sure I'll get the invite eventually. I will.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But,
what other podcasts have you been on so far?
I've been on Beauties and Beasties to talk about don't post dead animals on social media if you're a pest control company. That was a very interesting conversation because
you said don't post what now?
Dead animals on your company's social medias for the public.
Why was that? Why did that topic come up? I'm just curious.
No, because I made a post about it on LinkedIn and it blew up. Literally.
It blew up in a good way or a bad way?
The vast majority of people agreed, but there was obviously a few people that didn't agree. But when Sean got me on, he was like, when he read it out, what I said, that's not what I said. Because he said, you said pest controllers shouldn't post dead animals on their social media. I said, no, I said pest control companies on their social media brand accounts shouldn't post dead animals.
Why shouldn't they, though? That's my question.
Get a lot of bad rap. You can. It's terrible. You can.
I mean, so I think
if I did that in my area, I'd lose a lot of work. Trust me, a lot of work over that.
So from your perspective, I can see the point from a client perspective because it's almost like you don't have the compassion for the animal, right?
Educational wise, I can. If it's educational posts for other people in the industry, then that's fair play. But that's what the podcast was about. But it was fun. I've also been on Tales from the Crawl Space European Edition.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten it. Are you talking about what's his face? The 2 guys?
Yeah, Jack and Brad.
Yeah, I still haven't got to get on there yet. I've been asking them to get on, and they.
It's very. Would you be okay on a podcast like that, though?
I mean, I don't mind it. I know they're very vulgar and it's very kind of open concept, but I kind of like the idea because it's also a very relaxed atmosphere.
I'll have a word. I'm always messaging them. I will have a word for you. See what happens.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know if they. I mean, he had mentioned possibly having me on at some point about ants, and I was like, dude, I'm not the ant expert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm literally fascinated with gross out content. You know me, so that's what I do. You know what I mean? So like bot fly removals, ticks, lice, all that kind of cool stuff. So
I will have a word for you, and that's basically I would on the European edition. It was my first ever podcast for pest control. In my opinion, I was rubbish on it, but since then I've done my own podcast, and I am getting another invite back on. I don't know whenever they want to get me on, and. But yeah, they're the only ones so far. But I enjoy doing my own, so I don't have to be invited on other people's. But I eventually will make the circuit. Eventually, you never know.
I mean, it's probably already involving enough for you to do your own. You know what I mean? Much less to be on other people. It takes up enough time.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't.
So with this one right here, because this is on StreamYard and it's live, when it's done, does it just basically download the recording and then you post the recording?
Exactly that. And it also makes a load of clips as well. They're not always that good, but some of them are.
Fair enough. But StreamYard's not free, correct?
Oh no, that's not free. No. It's a paid.
And I'm not advertising for Starbucks people. I'm just drinking it.
It's about 30 quid a month, I think it is.
How much a month?
It's about £30
Okay, geez, that would be probably a lot for me because your pound is worth way more than my dollar.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, you've always wanted it in, Adam. You've always wanted it invite. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I've asked you loads of times.
I mean, who is now? I got to see who Adam Edwards is because I see his picture. So let me go to LinkedIn and see if I can find Adam Edwards real quick.
He's a good mate of mine. We talk all the time. We do.
Does he own a pest control company?
He's got a small little business
Fantasy Hour
himself.
still deliberating topic, Adam. We're only doing guests every other week as well, but it'll happen. Oh, I believe you, Jenny. We're good.
Oh, sorry. I've also been on the Pestrogen podcast this week. And that was all about fitness, health, linking to pest control. It's quite fun.
Because of your amazing weight loss journey. I love that.
It's still going, but to be fair, Adam, he doesn't use LinkedIn a lot. So he logs in every so often. He does. Is
this Adam Edwards, though, owner and pest control technician at TNR Pest Solutions?
That's him.
Okay, well, I'm going to connect with you anyway, Adam. So there you go. I connected with you, buddy.
There you go. But I was been on Pestrogen. I have, and so what do you reckon about? Because obviously, you had a good conversation on the Beauties and Beasties about AI. Regards to Sean was talking about cameras, where cameras will detect.
Yeah, we're kind of back to where cameras, AI cameras and detecting things is kind of back to the image recognition, right? So like Google Photos or anything, you're going to have to train the AI camera, right? It's got to be trained. It's not just, you don't just turn on the camera and it just recognizes things. So
I understand that.
Right. So the AI camera is going to have to be trained. I mean, for something like, I feel like wildlife, that's not as big of a deal, right? It can probably delineate a fox or a coyote or even, those kind of things. But when you're getting down to the insects, unless they're extremely...
I think he really meant rats and mice, really. And squirrels.
I mean, rats and mice. Yeah, I think when you're talking about wildlife, that would make sense. That's easy. I think that's fair. I mean, I say it's easy. As long as there's nothing that's similar, then, you might have a false positive every once in a while. But at the end of the day, I'm very much, I don't understand the point of having an AI camera for wildlife, right? If I have a camera at all, that's especially like, let me just kind of revert back to the mainland, right? Here in the United States, with a lot of wildlife trapping, they won't let you use a camera for verifying that the trap is empty, right? Or verifying that something's been caught.
Really?
Quite often you have to still go out there and check the trap every 24 hours.
I think here that if you've got like a camera on it 24 hours a day, it's fine. But don't quote me on that, people. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, and with that being said, even for the States here, I know that if I were a pest control company owner and I had a wildlife thing going on, and I've been on the wildlife consultant podcast with Steven like twice now, and so we've had this conversation before where if I were to be a company owner and I were to have that set up and have a camera in, and if the state came to me and said, we're going to fine you because you didn't have somebody check it, I'm going to be like, I've got a camera. It's got a picture. It's got a date stamp. It's got a timestamp. This is literally more validity than my technician driving out there, because who's to say we can trust them to write it down on a piece of paper?
Right.
This is literally more evidence than my person driving out there. So I would be that person where I would argue it and I would say, I'm not going to pay your fine and I'm going to appeal this until whatever.
It's common sense. I mean, cameras, it's the modern, we're in 2025, that should be acceptable, because motion detection, it goes off, you see everything, because in the UK, they're not actually pest control cameras a lot of us use. We use something called, I think they're probably American, we use Reolink cameras. We do. Okay. They're very good. We use them for motion control. When you've obviously got some trapping program or something going on, or something not quite right in a loft space, and you're like, put the camera up, usually solves it. And thanks for tuning in, Pest Away.
Afternoon.
But yeah,
aloha from Hawaii. So back to your thing though, as far as the AI camera, I thought Sean was also talking about insects, not just.
He may have been. I can't remember.
I think he was, and so I still think that we are.
That's a
long.
long.
I don't even know if we'll see it in our lifetime to have AI that successfully identifies, insect species. Sorry, insects down to the level of species.
Andrew seen Hugh's post about LinkedIn. AI, and he actually he tested ChatGPT. I think 21 insects.
Okay.
And I have to find it, but I'm pretty sure it got about 17 right out of 21.
So when you say he tested ChatGPT, what does that mean when you say he tested ChatGPT?
I think hang on, where's LinkedIn?
Did he actually add a picture of into ChatGPT or what?
Andrew, there he is. Hold on a minute. On the fly. Post. Oh, there we go. So, how accurate is ChatGPT for pest identification, you ask? We were prompted by Hugh Radcliffe over the weekend. Below his selection of 20 images we fed into ChatGPT, these images are mimic the actual type of actual photos we capture in the field or clients provide to us via a cell phone camera. No microscopic image was used. The results was 85% accuracy. AI correctly identified 17 out of 20 specimens. It was incorrect.
Down to what level, though?
It's just what he says in this. It was incorrect with assassin bug, the yellow garden spider, the carpenter anthrax. For those, it was provided identification of a left-footed bug and a few others. But you'd probably have to go and look at the post, you would.
So I think where I get concerned, just from what you're saying right now, and that's great. I love what you're saying, but I think where I get concerned is it sounds like it's doing a common name, right? Because you mentioned an assassin bug and a left-footed bug; those are all common names, right?
Yeah.
And so I would be more interested to know what would be the accuracy down to the species, the scientific name, genus, species level.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Because for a common name, at least here in the States, if I were to say a water bug to you in California, that's going to mean a cockroach. In Florida, that could actually mean a literal water bug, which is in the Heteropteran species, where a cockroach is in the Deleteria species. So that's where I'm if it's a common name, that only concerns me a little bit. But I'll reach out to Andrew too and find out what he was saying, because I'm very interested now.
Yeah, which is they were common. He didn't list them all, but yeah. Adam's well impressed you live in Hawaii.
Did you just say you're from Hawaii? Wish I was there. I live in Hawaii. I'm not from Hawaii, but yes, I live in Hawaii now.
Yes, I mentioned Pestion, Jenny. I don't want you crying. Pestion podcast, amazing.
Yeah, Jenny and them seem amazing. I'm excited to be on that at some point for sure. So I'm definitely owning my own business has been very eye-opening. I tell people, for anybody who want to start a business, I say you take the leap of faith as soon as you can, because I wish I would have done this a decade ago. I love being my own boss. I love being able to help others and give back. And so I don't regret it at all. And I'm just looking forward to, every day as I advance on this, evolutionary journey.
That's good. That is.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, because working for yourself is much better than having someone else telling you what to do. You make the schedule. You make the schedule.
Well, also, when I work for myself, I determine my own fate, my own future.
You do.
I don't have to worry about, being fired or let go for some weird reason or being in trouble for some reason. I get to manage all that myself, and so that's one of the things I love about being my own boss, because I get along with pretty much everybody. But, there are times where I've been told that I have a little bit of an intimidating personality. And that's fine. It's not on purpose. It's just more because I feel like I have a lot of knowledge sitting in this brain right here. So sometimes I think that's the intimidating part.
No, I think what it is, you're quite what you call you're a strong personality. You are.
Right. Extroverted. Yeah.
That scares some people, but
that's fair. And I'm okay with that.
Very funny.
I'm also that person. Closest I got to Hawaii was last week watching Lilo. Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, you got to come visit. I know you're a long way away, but come visit for sure. Anytime, hit me up. We'll go out, we'll do some fishing, eat some sushi, eat some poke. But but yeah, no. So as far as AI goes, though, again, I'm a big proponent of it. Like I said, my biggest concern is the environmental impact that I've heard about lately, but I also
Yeah,
think that they're going to find a way to balance that out.
they probably will. They probably will.
Yeah.
They always find some way, but they I do think it's an area that all pest controllers should be researching what AI is and how to use it, because you're going to use it. I'm not saying that AI is going to go and do your job for you. It's not, but you need to be up to speed with things, and there's a lot to it. It can help your job. I really think people should spend some time, or an hour a week or half an hour a week, just looking at it and playing with it. They can, because once you work it out, it's a powerful tool. It is,
No,
but you've got to work it out first, obviously. It keeps ramping up, doesn't it? Keeps getting better and better and better. It does.
But again, anybody who wants to take advantage of AI, you need somebody like me, a board certified entomologist, to give you that technical review, right? To ensure that all of your information is accurate and correct.
That's with a punchline.
And you can catch me right here at Namedatbug
Yeah.
.com.
Hey.
You know, I don't like to try to sell myself, but I
no, it's cool. It's the way you come on here. You have a conversation as well. It is.
And I also, like I've told you, I give back. I want to give back, and I'm not here to, like, kill people when I try to, I got to make a living as well. You know what I mean? And so I love that outlook, the business owner, but the double standard is many that have that view then want people to work for them. I think we should realize that all walks are just as important.
Oh yeah, it's true. If you want to work for someone,
100%. If you don't want to be a business owner, go work.
I used to work in a terrible job for 16 years, which I hated. I wish I didn't stay there for that long. And it's a terrible story if I ever tell you it. But
you know what, Sean, though? You wouldn't be where you are if you hadn't gone through that.
That's true. Well, it's my dad that got me into pest control, basically. Around him, I wouldn't have been in it.
One thing I'll encourage everybody is you don't regret anything you've been through, because it makes you who you are and it makes you where you are.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I could sit there and say I regret things all day long, but then what does that do? That just gives me anxiety, gives me all these emotions that I don't need to be experiencing. I think more than anything, I want to take where I am now, take the positivity that I can, and use that to propel myself forward.
That's true. It's good, that is. It's it's a good thing, that is, because it's pushing forward. It is. It's yeah.
As far as my response to Jenny and the business owner thing, I mean, I think if you can do it and you want to do it, it's a great thing to do. If you want, we also need those people in the retail environments, at fast food restaurants that are doing what they're doing, because then we can't have our fast food if they're not there, right? And so everybody has their place, and some people are just not built to be business owners. I think I was specifically talking to those people who have considered becoming business owners. Because I've been consulting for literally a decade, and I just think about the fact that I kind of wish I would have just done this a long time ago, because I love what I love. But does that mean I'm going to be doing this forever? I'll probably be a consultant forever, but there's a chance that I could go back to a regular job one day.
Are you still doing your teaching work, or have you got rid of that?
Oh, no.
Well done, because I know you weren't happy with it. So well done.
I quit teaching and started this full time back in March, because I was unfortunately I was like this close to being physically assaulted by an 8th grade student.
Oh, okay, that's not good. That's not.
Yeah. And then there were some other.
You can't actually do anything back because the kids, isn't there?
You can defend yourself, but supposedly there's limitations to what you can do with obviously students who are trying to assault you. So luckily it didn't happen, and I didn't have to worry about that. But I'm there were other things that happened, and so it's just teaching for me. I just realized at least here was not where I needed to be, and so that's why I started this business full time.
Oh, done. You've made the right move. I didn't know you'd actually left your teaching job. I've been big respect for that. March.
Yeah,
big respect for that. Yeah. Well, Adam's opinion is don't work for someone else ever.
Yes and no. I think it's just for me personally in my journey, it's better for me to be my own boss.
Yeah, that's fair. That is. It's everyone's got a different view and where they are in the journey. It's,
for sure.
Some people are meant. I just wish schools would teach people. Well, over here they teach kids to. How would you say? They teach kids to work for someone else. They don't tell people, "Oh, you could be a business owner." you could do this, that, and the other. They don't. It's not that mindset. It ain't.
Well, I think I like the idea of teaching them to work for somebody, because teaching them to work for somebody means teaching them to work with people,
Oh, that's
right?
true.
And working with people is extremely
at least
important.
tell them they can do that, but they don't.
Correct.
They don't do that.
Well, I mean, can't you watch Shark Tank from over there, or can you not watch Shark Tank?
I've watched all the Shark Tanks. I love that program. I watched Dragon's Den. I watched it. I watched The Apprentice. Oh, yeah, I watch all them kind of programs.
Did you watch the last episode of Shark Tank recently, where Mark Cuban is officially gone from Shark Tank?
Oh, I better watch that then. I haven't watched that.
It's the last episode. He retired, so he's officially done.
Oh, okay. Well, I will watch that. I don't think I watched that one. Was that a live episode or?
No, I'm sorry. It was.
Sometimes they have an audience, don't they? Because I watched Shark Tank. No, they do. Yeah, they have. Because I watch with my missus, and I think the ones for an audience is crap, because they're playing to the audience. Yay! Giving money. And they're literally waiting for the cheers. They were. I don't think they do many of them. But Adam said, totally agree. Though with working for others, good, bad experience and gaining knowledge definitely molds you enough to take the leap of faith as a business owner.
Yes, that is 100% accurate. I mean, I think that's where you ultimately end up. How do I say this? It helps to, elevate and push you into that next step. And so, you know what I mean? Like, definitely the experience that I had with teaching was just that catapult, right? That's the word I was looking for, that catapult to throw me into becoming a business owner and just doing it. You know what I mean? And so it's been rewarding. Definitely been pretty successful so far. And so again, every day I just look forward to the next step. And anybody listening that wants help from me, if you go to my website at namedatbug.com, you can go check me out. You can see everything I have to offer: training, quality assurance softwares, license management software, all of the above, social media, all of the above. And so again, it's I'm Adam Holt. It's namedatbug.com. And if you want to reach out to me on WhatsApp, you can use my phone number. It's 352-408-6122. Again, that's 352-408-6122. And yeah, my email is really simple. It's adam@namedatbug.com. So, Sean, it's been amazing being on here, dude. I super appreciate you.
For our podcast people, I booked Adam for an hour, so he's a busy man. He is. But yeah. Thanks for coming on, Adam, and we'll probably have you on again in the future, talking about something else. But you are the first one that's had two. Oh, where we are? Where are we? Two invites.
What? So, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I appreciate you, Sean. It's always amazing, and I always watch your journey with your working out and your fitness and your weight loss. So
yeah, I'm taking that to another level now. I'm taking that to another level. I'm taking it to another level now.
What does that mean?
Diet's gone cleaner.
Okay.
So I should start dropping more weight. It's gone cleaner. Yes.
Are you trying to do your weight loss journey like on your own? Or are you going to consider using like Wegovy or any of those different things to help people out lose weight?
What do you mean? Them injections?
Yeah, you've never heard of the injections, the Wegovy injection?
I'm not into that. I can do it myself, mate. I know I can.
All right.
I'm not into them. I don't like needles to start with, so that's a big reason why I won't. But yeah,
I think for anybody listening, just to kind of like, I know we're kind of wrapping things up here soon, but
yeah,
for you to be able to post your journey, that takes a lot of courage, right? Because
it does.
You were obviously at a weight you weren't happy with, and you're trying to go on this journey where you're trying to lose weight and become healthy and become that better version of yourself. And so for anybody listening, posting that journey is a good way to also get that support from everybody, right?
To be fair, I've not actually had anyone be that. A couple of comments on TikTok, but I don't really care. I'm not insecure. But in general, the vast majority of people, and it's good. But people have called me inspiring. You're inspiring people.
Like, yeah. I have a guy I follow on TikTok. I don't know if you watched him, but he was 700 pounds.
What the hell?
And he's now, I think, like under 300, and it's just like insane. So, like, I think he's like triple dad or something. or like 3. He's like,
Pounds.
it's insane though. But he's like, he's lost so much weight.
Wow, that's 50 stone, people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was nearly 30, so put it that way. I'm not now. I've lost 7, maybe 8, 7 or 8 stone.
How much is a
Wow.
stone in pounds?
Give me a minute.
I'm like, I don't know what that means. Sorry.
It's fine. 1 stone in pounds. So that's 14 pounds.
So you've lost over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, dude.
Oh, cheers. Thanks.
There's the fist for you. The fist pump. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks. But thanks for your time and having me on, and I'll send you the link. So if you want to download the podcast yourself, you can.
Yeah, of course. I'll put it up on my website. It goes on my blog as well. So that'll be an easy way for people to. You should somehow put you should also build a link into like your stuff where people, once they click on it, it'll take them to your website if you want them to.
I have got it. It's like, I haven't got a website, but I've got a Linktree to all the podcasts.
Yeah, that's fair. You've got your stuff. You got your pest perspective, so that's fine. Never mind. It's early. It's still early for me, so it's late for you, early for me.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, and thanks to everyone in chat. It's been, reckon it might have been the most engaging chat so far with people.
What?
Maybe I'm getting more and more people as time goes on. I am. But
well, hey, I appreciate you, Sean. Thanks so much, buddy.
Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you next time. I'll speak to you soon. Adam.
All right. Bye,
All right,
Sean.
see ya. Thanks. Bye. Bye.